This video is part 3 of our art commission series. Be sure to check out parts 1 and 2 with the links in the description. Don't accept commissions on anything and everything. It's better to curate your commissions to your own abilities and preferences by comparison to just saying, yeah, I'll do everything, right? This allows you to specialize, which will help you become more appealing and top of mind in specific aspects, right? For example, if you're not the greatest at designing creatures, you might not want to offer it as a commission type, right? Instead, you can refer to another artist who can, or just say no. Right, saying no is always an option. As much as we want to be treated right, we also want to make sure we're offering the best work that we can make as well. So mechs, not always my best work. So I just don't accept them. I never accept them, but I'll take creatures, I'll take characters. Specifically, I offer character art, background art, and creature designs, all priced very differently. I enjoy them and I know that I'm really good in these areas, and I also offer emotes and PNG tuber artwork, but I don't publicly advertise it usually because it's not really the forefront of my work. It's something that I can do, but it's not something that's I'm really, really good at. I also don't publicly offer graphic design things like logos or display fonts, things like those. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy them. I do actually really enjoy doing that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I am not professionally trained in it in any way, shape, or form. I'm very minorly trained in graphic design, so I don't really trust my own abilities to offer them to the public. I have an eye for it, but I'm not a professional, so I only offer it privately to friends or family if I have the time. So I've done logo work before, I've done text work before, stuff like that, but it is not my biggest forte, so I tend not to be hey, I can do this. I tend to just offer it only to friends and family, and that's completely fine. So don't accept commissions on anything and everything. Know that you're going to be doing these kinds of commissions over and over and over. I tend to get a lot of D&D commissions. I get a lot of character commissions for D&D characters, for DMs and their parties. I get creature commissions, stuff like that, and it's I like doing those things and I'm okay with doing them over and over and over. But there was a time when I did a lot of anime commissions. There was a time when I was really into the Hunter x Hunter scene, and that was most of what I offered. And I got bored of it really quickly. I was I am bored of this. So I just stopped offering it, and I just kind of stopped advertising myself as such. So I do a lot of Pokemon commissions. I do a lot of D&D commissions. I've done a couple wedding commissions. Those are cool. But more often than not, just make sure that you are offering what you think and what you know you will be okay with doing over and over and over, because that is what you will be doing. Don't underestimate the power of referrals. I don't underestimate that. A lot of you are probably asking right now, how do I get commissions? How do I get commissions? It's luck. I'm just kidding. I'm half kidding. It's a lot of consistency, patience, and creating really, really good experience for your customers, right? If you impress a client, they will refer to you over and over again and even become a repeat customer. I've got a couple of repeat customers that I really enjoy working with. There's a couple of D&D DMs who it's hey, I need an adjustment to this character. I need my new party member needs an illustration, stuff like that. And I love getting those. Sometimes I just get individuals who just like my style and they're hey, I want to commission you again. But getting those referrals, wanting to commission you over and over is a really, really good feeling. Word of mouth is the best way to get clients because they come to you with trust from the person who referred to you, right? Same thing again. I had a D&D commissioner. I had a DM who came up to me. He's hey, I want tokens for all of my characters. So he commissioned me 5 bust shots, something like that. 5 bust characters with just shoulders and up for just illustrations of their characters. I've done a couple of party illustrations. This one was really fun. And one of the party members emailed me at one point. He was hey, you did a commission for my DM of all of our characters and I love your style. My character's gonna have an alteration soon. Could you redraw him for me? And I was absolutely. So that was another commission that I did. And then he came to me again and was so I have a different character in a different campaign. I'd love it if you could illustrate him too. And I was absolutely. So it's really great to have those kind of repeat customers and those word of mouth customers, because then it's really easy for you to get more and more recognition. Make sure you find your niche, right? Make sure you're finding your niche within illustration. Specializing in certain things or being known for an illustration style is really good at marketing and your best bet at standing out within a sea of people who are doing commission work, right? A lot of people know me for the D&D work I do, obviously. But in terms of like general referrals, I get referred to a lot of streamers. Like that tends to be like the biggest word of mouth that I get. It's like, oh, you need a banner? Talk to Jess. You need a PNG tuber? Jess can do that for you. Because I'm also very fast. So it's another thing that people know me for. Lots of you probably know Sam Does Art or James Jean or Loish, right? They all have really distinct ways of working and really, really recognizable styles, right? So how can you make your artistic voice stand out amongst a sea of other artists? How do you as an artist make your work stand out? How do you make it more interesting? How do you like really hammer in that niche that you're good at? If you specialize in a specific thing, you can charge more because it is what you're best at. You can get better work and you can get even more referrals, right? So you as an artist can stand out within a crowd. Before we continue, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, ArtDen. It can be hard to find commissions, but lucky for us art nerds is a new app called ArtDen, where you can post and request commissions, manage orders, and accept payments all in one place. Go download the beta app now and you'll have taken your first step into getting a commission. Link in the description. My boss, Faye, who is also the founder of Wayne Canvas, who is a portrait painter, is really, really passionate about commissions and taking commissions as an artist. So she usually has her own personal Venn diagram for accepting commissions. Faye tends to evaluate whether a commission is good or not by considering, will she love working on it? Does it pay well? And will it help you build skill, or will it look good in a portfolio? Right, so those tend to be three things that you want to consider. If the project fulfills two of these three, it is worth doing, in her opinion. But if it fulfills all three, that is very, very rare, so make sure that you jump on it. Don't go all in. Start small and start local. If you're a beginner at taking commissions, don't quit your job. Especially if you've already got one. If you are taking commissions for the first time, do not quit your day job immediately. It takes time to build up a clientele and to nurture your clients into repeat customers. Commission work is very rarely most people's main job as well. So like if you are doing commission work, like you might just want to make it a side gig more often than not. You can get commissions from anywhere. Social media is a great and free way of promoting yourself, right? Find the niches you enjoy and build an audience to offer public commissions. But again, those niche, the people who know you and know your work, will start to tunnel towards you once they learn of an artist who is good in this corner. Specifically with social media, you will need to post regularly and consistently to build an audience if you don't already have one. So the social media grind is tough. It is very, very tough. It often requires you to post minimum like 3 times a week to daily, depending on the type of social media person you're going to be. It does also depend on the platform, so researching that kind of SEO, researching the best times to post is something that a lot of social media managers will do. Find out how the algorithm works if you're serious about building up the audience. So like focus on trends, focus on getting into spaces where you think you can thrive, stuff like that. So that is something that you will have to research, and sometimes it's just not worth it, which is something that a lot of artists struggle with the idea of, because we kind of are all really used to the social media grind, the social media aspect of building up commissions, and sometimes that grind is just not worth it, right? We're so used to seeing like social media like giants and like we're like, oh, it's like I can do that, right? But it is a lot of work. It's a really huge toll on your mental health. It can kill your love of art really quickly, especially if you just have to, it feels like you're grinding out content more than like actually illustrating. So just be really, really careful with social media. Don't let it take over your life, but also make sure that you are still having fun with the journey as well. Art fairs and markets and conventions are another way for you to offer commissions publicly in public spaces. Tabling at conventions and art markets is another way to sell some originals or get like or do some fan art or do commissions for people on the spot. Especially if you're at like a convention, like sometimes you'll see like artists who have just a little sign that's like, commission me, right? And you can like commission them for like a flat fee, and then they'll give you like a hand done work that they'll either email to you or they'll like hand over to you. Especially if it's a like sketchbook, they'll just give it to you and that'll be your commission that you get. Understand that it does cost money to table. There's a lot of marketing involved with tabling. Most of the time you won't just buy a table and you're set, especially with conventions or like really popular art fairs. You might have to like have a presence online or just have an established business in order to be able to table. And don't just offer like commissions when you're tabling. You want to offer some stuff that you've pre-made, especially for conventions. Like charms are a really good thing, postcards, prints, maybe jewelry. I don't know, right? Stickers are a really good thing too. You want to make sure that you are pre-making things that you can sell at conventions, so then like you still have a full table. Maybe people want to buy those from you, but then you'll also offer like custom things. It's like if you want to get a commission, you can absolutely get a commission. Make sure you also know the audience you are marketing towards when you are tabling, right? A convention like a nerd convention will be really different by comparison to like marketing at like a boho fair, right? That's going to be really different audience that is shopping at both sections, so make sure that you are doing your research and understand where you are tabling. Art markets are a really great way to actually meet your buyers in person. So if you end up seeing like people who are actually already fans of you, or if you just meet people who would want to buy your work, that's a great way to see them in person. Kind of takes down the screen a little bit, you know. However, the fees can be expensive and the preparation can take forever, right? Setup and takedown, and then like talking about art and like trying to sell your products can be really exhausting. So make sure you're testing your market and your strategy at local events before investing in something big. Make sure that the scene is for you, because sometimes it's not. Sometimes people don't really like tabling at conventions. People don't like doing like art markets or whatever. So start something small, start with something small before you invest into something larger. It is not easy being a commissions artist, right? It is a grind that requires you to be diligent, hardworking, and self-regulated. Right? If you are a beginner, it is not the most regular source of income, and it requires you to be incredibly popular if you want to live off of commissions alone. However, our commissions are a great way for you to be your own boss and a great way for you to start making connections. Word of mouth is key, especially with the niches that I'm in. If D&D players like my work, they'll tell other players about me and get their characters drawn. It's a fun cycle. So if you're thinking of getting into commissions, don't expect everything to happen immediately, but with enough time and patience, you'll be a public commissions artist sooner than you know. Do you have other tips or experiences to share about commissions? Let us know in the comments below.
Join a virtual class to learn live from our professional artists. Get creative assignments, individual guidance, and real-time feedback on your artwork. Start today and level up your practice. If you learned something new, like and share this with a fellow art nerd. Here's a couple other videos you can check out next.